Gatos 58. A gang of street goons surround a guy and work him over real bad. The poor dude's down bad, hands up, pleading, swearing up and down that he doesn't have a single cent to his name. One of the goons suddenly stiffens, ears pricked. Footsteps. Heavy ones. The kind that make you question your life choices. They all turn. Someone's walking toward them. He's tall, built like he wrestles bears for fun, and his hair looks like he lost a fight with a windstorm. His face is locked in a frown so deep it could hold water. But the worst part? He's headed straight for them. The goons puff up, one of them steps forward, throwing his arms out. He reminds the new arrival who runs these streets, who calls the shots, who decides what goes and what doesn't. But the guy with the messy hair, he walks past them like they're nothing but background noise in his very important journey to somewhere else. Not a glance, not a word, not even an annoyed sigh. That's when the bald goon decides he's had enough of being ignored. He charges and kicks the guy with everything he's got, aiming to send a message straight to his ribs. Bad idea. The tall dude doesn't flinch, he just swings. One punch, and Baldy's airborne, sent flying like he just discovered gravity for the first time. The rest don't waste time. They pile in, fist swinging, but the messy-haired stranger doesn't just fight back, he demolishes. Each punch lands with the force of an angry landlord collecting overdue rent. Bodies hit the ground one after the other, groaning, regretting, reconsidering their career choices. One of the goons ends up on his butt, eyes wide with pure horror. He knows that face. That messy hair. That absolute wrecking ball strength. This isn't just some guy. This is Beast. The second he gasps the name, the big guy smirks, finally acknowledging their existence. And that's when the goons truly understand. They picked the wrong guy to mess with. The guy on the floor looks up at the mess of bodies around him, then back at the tall dude who just single-handedly wrecked his attackers. Eyes shining with gratitude, he starts gushing, calling the big guy a legend, praising his insane fighting skills, basically one step away from asking for an autograph. The Beast, because there's no better name for him, slowly turns to him. And the look in his eyes. Pure disappointment. Not a hint of pride, not even an ounce of "yeah, I did that." Just pure, undiluted judgment. He stares like he's watching a baby bird refuse to leave the nest, like he just witnessed a man surrender his dignity without a fight. Pathetic. Without a word, he turns and walks off, leaving the so-called victim stunned, offended, and questioning every life choice that led to this moment. That victim? Rodri Vidal, a 17-year-old who now has some serious thinking to do. By the time he gets to school, he looks like he lost a wrestling match with the pavement. The second he steps inside, yelling erupts. His friends, Anna, Nera, and Emma, all 17 too, swarm him, demanding answers. He tries to keep it cool, shrugs, and claims he got jumped, but totally made it out unscathed. Lies? Huge, massive lies. The evidence is all over his face. Nera narrows her eyes. "How do you escape?" she asks, skeptical. Rodri, ever the storyteller, leans in dramatically. He explains that he was saved by none other than the weird kid who sits behind Nera. At first, he thought the guy was there to help. But by the time it was all over, he swears he was more terrified of Beast than the actual goons who jumped him. He goes off, ranting about how the dude's got rabid dog eyes and the personality of someone who's never heard the word friendship before. He calls him aggressive, rude, completely unhinged. Then, because he's feeling extra bold, he takes it further. He starts clowning on the guy's build, calling him a gorilla on steroids, blaming his lack of friends on the fact that he looks like he was raised by wolves and then abandoned for being too intense. Rodri keeps running his mouth, cracking jokes, feeling himself, completely unaware that his life is seconds away from flashing before his eyes. Because standing right behind him, listening to every word, is Beast himself. When the big guy finally speaks, Rodri freezes. His brain stops. His soul briefly leaves his body. He turns slowly, stiff as a board, and meets those same rabid dog eyes he was just trash-talking. And just like that, Rodri's ability to form words gone. He stares, mouth opening and closing, but all that comes out are broken, panic sounds. His friends silent. No one is saving him from this one. The Beast just stands there, watching, waiting, judging. First period rolls around, and Nera, out of sheer habit, turns to check on the big guy behind her. Fast asleep already. The bell barely stopped ringing, and this man is out cold. Impressive, honestly. Later in the day, the four friends gather, and naturally, the topic of conversation lands on the one and only Beast. The question of the hour: why does he even bother coming to school if he's just going to sleep through it? Anna, ever the informant, drops the intel. He's failing almost every course. Not surprising, but still wild to hear out loud. They all sit with the reality of it. Joel Mora, a walking, talking cautionary tale. A dangerous, violent loner, who gets into fights so often it's basically part of his daily routine. The whole school is terrified of him. His name barely gets used. Everyone just calls him Beast. Emma, however, is focused on something far more pressing. He doesn't shower. She says it with certainty, like it's a well-researched fact. No one argues, but also, no one can prove it. Nera decides the best course of action is complete avoidance. No contact, no eye contact, no thoughts. Stay clear of the Beast, live a longer life. Simple. But fate. Fate is a sick, twisted comedian. Because boldly written on the classroom chalkboard, mocking them in all caps, is the cleaning schedule. And right there, for today's unlucky souls, Nera, Rodri, and Joel. A moment of silence. Then, pure panic. Rodri and Nera scream, so loud the entire school probably hears them. The sheer force of their despair might knock the board off the wall. Emma and Anna just watch, horrified, but also kind of entertained. Nera, full-blown survival mode activated, grabs Rodri by the collar and shakes him like she's trying to rattle ideas out of his brain. Fix this, she demands. Get us out of this. Think of a plan, we need to escape. Rodri, equally terrified, has zero plans, zero ideas, just vibes and regret. Meanwhile, Nera's mind is going to the worst possible places. She imagines them trapped in a classroom with the Beast, forced to do his homework, his laundry, or, worst case scenario, never leaving that room again. Doom, pure doom. And the worst part? It's only the beginning. Anna throws out a suggestion, so wild it nearly derails the whole conversation. Let's just leave the cleaning to Joel and save ourselves. Nera and Rodri exchange a look. Tempting. But also a terrible idea. The last thing they need is a trip to the principal's office for skipping duty. Their fear of the system is only slightly greater than their fear of the Beast. That's when Emma, ever the strategist, comes up with a genius plan. Let's just erase his name off the board before he notices. Simple. Elegant. Effective. With Joel's name gone, it's just the two of them left, and they can handle the cleaning themselves without having to deal with the big guy at all. Nera and Rodri don't even hesitate. They are all in. The problem? They are discussing this at full volume. And Joel. Joel is right outside the class. Sitting on a bench, sipping his juice box, he hears every single word. At first, he just keeps sipping. Used to it. People avoiding him. Nothing new. But as he listens, something different stirs in him. A weird kind of ache. He's been alone for as long as he can remember. And sure, he's got a pretty bad reputation. He fights a lot. His temper's garbage. People fear him, not befriend him. He thought he was fine with that. But now, sitting here, listening to these kids go out of their way to avoid him like he's some kind of monster under the bed, he realizes something. He's lonely. Like, really, really lonely. More than anything, he wants someone to talk to. Someone to sit with. Someone who doesn't flinch at the sight of him. Someone he can trust. He wants a friend. And today, that changes. Joel stands up, a fire of determination in his chest. He's never had a friend before, but guess what? He found a book. A book about making friends. Or socializing. Or something like that. Point is, he's got a strategy now. Step 1. He's gonna be early for cleaning duty. He'll start the work himself, show them he's not a threat. And once they see that, they'll have time to talk. To bond. To become friends. In his head, it's all mapped out perfectly. Joel is psyched. He's never been this excited about anything. Today's the day everything changes. Joel gets to work, shifting boxes around in the dimly lit room. It's so dark in here, he's starting to wonder if this is where they keep kids who fail too many classes. He's handling props from the drama club, random costumes, fake swords, some weird old furniture. He briefly wonders if Nera or Rodri are secretly in the drama club. Would explain a lot. As he stacks another box, he hears something, movement at the door. He pauses, glancing over. Someone's there. For no particular reason, he picks up a prop knife and twirls it between his fingers. It's rubber, completely harmless, but he thinks it looks kinda cool. Then Nera and Rodri step inside. Joel reminds himself to smile. First impressions matter. He must not look intimidating. Smile, be friendly, should be easy, right? So he grins wide, too wide, and greets them cheerfully. Rodri and Nera freeze. Because what they see. Not a friendly guy trying to make conversation. No. They see a massive, terrifying delinquent standing in a dark room, holding a knife, smiling like a psychotic serial killer, who just locked his next victim's eye in. And they absolutely lose it. Instant panic. Instant begging. Instant please, we have so much to live for. Joel freaks out even harder. He hurls the knife away like it personally betrayed him. He frantically waves his hands. It's fake. It's fake. But he's too loud, too frantic, too massive. Instead of calming them down, he's making it so much worse. Out of sheer desperation, he reaches toward them to show he means no harm. They take this as a clear sign to prepare for the afterlife. Screaming, scrambling, absolute chaos. Joel steps back, completely defeated. He watches as two perfectly normal teenagers run for their lives from the ONE guy who just wanted to be their friend. Silence settles. He looks down at his hands, at the mess around him, at himself. He really thought today would be different. That he'd finally change something. Make a connection. But no. He's screwed this up, just like he screws up everything else. Without a word, he walks over to the trash can, grabs the book on friendship, and tosses it in. He's done. Joel walks down the road, still frustrated about how horribly yesterday went. Sure, he's big, strong, and has a bit of a temper, but the guys at school fearing for their lives like he really was a monster. That was new. He blames himself for ever touching that stupid book. As he stomps along, he spots a little boy bawling his eyes out. Joel sighs, probably lost a toy or something. He asks what's wrong, and the kid, between sniffles, explains that some bullies kicked his soccer ball into a tree. Joel stares at him, unimpressed. All this crying, over a ball. He plucks it from the branches with ease, handing it back while explaining that a stick or a rock could have done the trick. Problem solved. But the boy shakes his head. The ball isn't the problem, it's the bullies. He just wanted to be their friend, but they were mean to him. Joel feels his blood pressure rise. Why would you even want to be friends with jerks like that? He ruffles the kid's hair and tells him to toughen up. One day, he'll have to stand up for himself, because no one else will do it for him. And if those bullies come back, he should kick them really hard and never back down. The kid nods, eyes wide, taking in every word like Joel just handed him the secret to life. You're really nice, the boy says, grinning. Joel blinks. Nice? Him? He shrugs and walks off. At least someone thinks so. Rodri spots Emma from a distance and yells her name like he's announcing a grand event. She waves, they exchange greetings, and she immediately asks how cleaning duty went. Rodri shudders, absolute nightmare. Turns out, they ran into Joel, who was casually holding a knife, and scared them half to death. Nera had fainted, and Rodri claims he faced the beast head-on. Heroic stuff. Nera suddenly calls out, asking Rodri to lend her money for a popsicle. He reminds her she still owes him from ages ago, and points out that she's pretty far away. If she really wants the money, she'll have to come get it. Nera and Anna exchange a look, a silent agreement that spells trouble. The popsicle seller demands payment, and instead of coughing up the cash, the girls break into a song. A very specific, very annoying song. Rodri immediately regrets his life choices. His eye twitches, his patience snaps, and in a fit of pure frustration, he hurls his wallet at them with full force. Except, he misses. The wallet sails right past the girls and smacks Joel in the head. The big guy, who was just minding his business, is now the unsuspecting victim of an airborne projectile. Silence. The girls go pale. Rodri freezes. They just hit the beast. What happens next? No one knows, but Rodri suddenly feels very, very mortal. The moment the wallet makes contact with Joel's head, everyone scatters like cockroaches in the light. No one wants to be around when the beast inevitably loses it. Joel picks up the wallet, ready to return fire, but then, he hesitates. Weird. Why did he stop? Turns out, it's his conscience, that annoying little voice telling him to be the bigger person. If he just hands it back calmly, people might actually like him. Maybe even, dare he say, make friends. It's a nice thought. Really, it is. Too bad it's already too late. The whole inner debate happens in the blink of an eye, but his arm is already in motion. His brain screams abort mission, but his body says nah, we're doing this. With even greater force than before, he hurls the wallet straight at Rodri, an unspoken apology in his heart. Rodri watches it come, wide-eyed, frozen in place like a man staring into the abyss. He accepts his fate. This is it. Goodbye, world. But then, out of nowhere, an elderly man steps into the line of fire. Good morning, young man, he says pleasantly. Wham! The wallet slams into the teacher's back with the force of a meteor. The poor man is launched into the air before crashing to the ground, completely still. Silence. The students are in shock. Did Joel just KO a teacher with a wallet? Joel's brain goes into overdrive. He can already see the headlines. Student arrested for wallet assault. Local teacher in critical condition. Screams break the silence. Someone yells for an ambulance. The teacher isn't moving. Rodri's friends rush to him too, because, oh yeah, he got hit as well. Joel slowly exhales. Welp. So much for making friends. Joel is out cold at his desk, snoozing like he didn't nearly take out a teacher, and Rodri with a wallet earlier. The students whisper among themselves, baffled. How does he sleep so peacefully after committing what should be considered a crime? The latest rumor is that he threatened the principal's life, which is why he wasn't expelled. No doubt about it, he's a beast. At their words, Joel smirks in his sleep, looking every bit as dangerous as they imagine. Somewhere in the dark, a little boy wanders alone, calling out for anyone, any sign of life. Silence. He turns to the beast standing nearby and asks if he knows where everyone is. The beast leans in, golden eyes gleaming with eerie menace. We're all alone here, he murmurs, his voice dripping with something unearthly. And we'll always be alone together forever. Joel wakes up with a scream, slamming his hands on the desk, so hard the entire class jumps. The teacher, entirely unfazed, claps his hands together. Ah, wonderful. So eager to volunteer for the new research project. Joel blinks, still trying to separate reality from nightmare. Huh. The teacher nods approvingly. Good enthusiasm. The package must be delivered by tomorrow. Destination, Paris. Failure to deliver means automatic failure for this course. Joel's brain malfunctions. Paris. Delivery. What package? Before he can protest, the teacher scans the room. Now, who'd like to team up with our very motivated friend here? The class falls dead silent. No one dares move. Because let's be real, who wants to work with the beast? Joel sits there, completely frozen. He hasn't fully processed what's happening, but one thing is clear, he's screwed. He doesn't talk to anyone in class, which means he has zero chance of finding a teammate. His future is looking grim. Automatic failure is practically knocking on his door. The teacher's question still hangs in the air, and Joel just stares, speechless. But then, something impossible happens. A hand goes up. The entire class gasps. The beast himself flinches. Someone just volunteered to team up with him. No way. This has to be a joke. But no, it's real. And it's Emma. Chaos erupts. Students scream in disbelief. Some clutch their heads like they've just witnessed the end of the world. Even Joel, the unshakable menace of the school, is visibly stunned. The teacher claps his hands, trying to restore order. All right. Settle down. You're still in class. But let's be honest, no one is settling down after this. Even I'm shocked. Emma, volunteering. With Joel. What is this going to lead to? Joel and Emma sit together in the school library, studying for their project. Well, Emma is studying, Joel is just pretending. He has no idea what the assignment is about, but is trying to look like he does. Emma seems to have everything under control, so he doesn't want to bother her. He also doesn't want to mess this up. He runs through his options. Maybe he'll act cool and laid back. No, that'll make him look like a dirtbag. Maybe he'll be super helpful. Nope, that might make him look like a total tryhard. He's running out of ideas and starting to get frustrated. Emma glances at him, probably noticing how hard he's working to keep it together. Then a thought hits him, what if this is a setup? What if this is some kind of elaborate prank? Just like when he was a kid and everyone tricked him into thinking he won a contest that didn't exist. His jaw tightens. If a hidden camera crew jumps out, he's flipping this table. Joel tries to gather as much info about Emma as possible. He knows her name, she's friends with Rodri, Anna, and Nera, and she sits next to him in class. But she's so quiet, he's barely heard her speak. Emma snaps him out of his thoughts by asking if he can handle a specific part of the project. He reminds himself to act normal. With a grumpy look, he claims he's got it covered. She doesn't seem intimidated and even tries to break the ice. Politely, she suggests he stop skipping class and falling asleep all the time. It'd save him a lot of trouble. Her words echo in his mind. So kind, so gentle, so soothing. Unfortunately, it's not like he hasn't tried before. School is just painfully boring. They sit in awkward silence, scribbling notes. The silence is starting to get to him. Should he say something? Before he can decide, Emma speaks up with the most random question. What's the last funny video he watched? He freezes for a second. He's pretty sure he's heard that question before. Instead of answering, he just shows her his phone. It's a video of Morris, the drummer kitty. Emma watches for a moment before nodding. Yeah, okay. That's actually hilarious. Joel takes a good look at Emma's face. Now that he thinks about it, she kind of looks like the drummer kitty, not super expressive, but she seems nice. He also realizes something he hadn't noticed before. She's really, really pretty. Their eyes meet for the first time. Joel immediately jerks his gaze away so fast he nearly gives himself whiplash. Emma doesn't even react. He stutters, but somehow manages to assure her he can handle another part of the assignment. Time drags on, and after what feels like forever, they finally finish. It was way more work than Joel expected, but at least they got it done before school closed. He actually feels relieved. Turning to Emma, he mumbles a thanks, admitting he wouldn't have been able to finish without her help. Emma tilts her head and asks if he really doesn't talk to anyone in class. He shrugs. Nope. Everyone's scared of him, and he's pretty much used to being alone. Emma doesn't look convinced. She says being alone isn't something you just get used to, at least, not if it wasn't your choice. Then she glances at him and adds that she doesn't care what anyone else says. She doesn't think he's a bad person. Joel's heart skips a beat. Out of nowhere, Mora and her crew swoop in, blocking Joel and Emma like a bunch of overdramatic bodyguards. They loudly declare they're here to protect Emma, and warn Joel that they've got their eyes on him. Then, just as fast as they appeared, they make a dramatic exit. Emma barely gets out of by before her friends drag her away. As they leave, Mora glares at her. Why would you team up with the beast? Emma just smiles. She'd seen Joel help a little kid on the sidewalk earlier that day. He reminded her of someone. The crew practically gasps. Emma smiling. This is breaking news. She rolls her eyes and insists she smiles all the time. They are not convinced. The next day, Joel walks into class with a rare feeling, accomplishment. For the first time ever, he actually finished his homework. He's feeling good. That is, until a group of guys blocks his path. They call him out, accusing him of stealing some sophomores' wallets. The smallest guy in the group, clearly the spokesperson, steps forward. He claims they're here to make the beast confess. Joel instantly sees this as a challenge. If they want a mess, he's ready to get messy. But before things escalate, Emma's voice cuts through the tension. Do you have any actual proof? Joel nearly jumps. He didn't even see or sense her there. How does she do that? Emma crosses her arms and tells the guys that she and her partner Joel have an assignment to turn in, and they are running late. The tiny mouthpiece stands firm and calls Joel Mora a thief. Emma doesn't back down. She calmly explains that she spent the entire afternoon with Joel yesterday, so there's no way he could have stolen anything. They have zero proof, it's all just rumors. The group hesitates. Joel watches, completely stunned. Did she just defend him? The whole class watches as the scene unfolds. Nobody dares to interrupt. Emma stands her ground, and the three guys, defeated and humiliated, have no choice but to back off. No punches were thrown, no desks flipped. Just pure verbal destruction. As they walk away, they throw out one last bitter remark. Everyone thinks Joel is guilty. Emma doesn't even flinch. She just turns to Joel and, without hesitation, says, "I know you're a good person." Something shifts inside him. It's small, but it's there. A spark. A feeling he can't quite name. What is this? Confidence. Hope. Heartburn. Whatever it is, it's new. And it's because of her. At Joel's place, he's sitting at the table munching on a bowl of cereal. It's not his favorite, but it's the only one they had, better than starving. His mind isn't even on the food. He's too busy daydreaming about Emma, her pretty face glowing in the sunlight. Axel, his 25-year-old cousin, wakes up with a loud yawn, like he's trying to let the whole neighborhood know he's alive. He walks over and gives Joel a playful shove on the head, asking if he fell out of bed this morning. Joel ignores him, asking Axel to be gentle with his hair like he's some kind of celebrity. Axel raises an eyebrow, already suspicious. Since when does Joel care about his hair? Something's definitely off. Then it clicks, Joel likes a girl. It's so obvious, especially when he's eating cereal with a fork like he's trying to make breakfast last forever. Joel tries to play it cool, saying that's just how he likes it. Axel isn't buying it. He reminds Joel he's acting the exact same way he did back in kindergarten, when he had a crush on the girl who always stole his crayons. Joel's had enough. He grabs his bag and heads out, hoping to escape the teasing. But Axel's grin says it all. He knows exactly what's going on. Joel walks along the sidewalk, replaying Axel's words in his head. There's no way he's acting weird. It's just a regular day, a little chilly, nothing unusual. But as he moves forward, people keep turning to look at him. He starts to panic. Why is he getting so much attention? Is there something on his face? Is his hair that bad? Then it hits him. He forgot his pants. Axel was right. He's completely out of it. Somehow, he manages to run back home, throw on some pants, and still make it to school on time. Honestly, the real crime here is that Axel didn't even bother to stop him. His cousin is an absolute menace. Still, Joel convinces himself that this could happen to anyone. It's not because he likes Emma or anything. He's just a little distracted. That's all. Then he sees her. His heart skips a beat. She says hello, and suddenly, his brain malfunctions. He tries to respond, but what comes out is some kind of ancient spell mixed with a broken record. He's stuttering so bad, even he doesn't know what he's saying. Joel wonders why he's acting like this. He's usually way cooler than this, right? Rodri walks into class, juggling a stack of brochures like he's handing out free money. He greets everyone, and the girls immediately notice, he's got more brochures again. They snatch a few and start flipping through them. Drama club, soccer club, boxing club, the usual lineup. Nera smirks and teases Rodri, saying he wouldn't last 5 minutes in the boxing club. Rodri scoffs, but deep down, even he knows she's probably right. As they debate club choices, the three friends huddle together, laughing and joking around. Not far away, Joel sits quietly, half listening to their conversation. Well, listening might be a stretch. He's mostly zoning out, lost in thought. Then, in class, the teacher calls on Joel to read. Silence. The teacher calls again. Nothing. One more time, still no response. Suddenly, Joel snaps upright like he just got electrocuted and yells, "Present, sir," as if it's roll call. The class stifles laughter. Unfortunately for him, this is the same teacher he accidentally hit with his wallet before. The teacher sighs, tells Joel they already did attendance, and instructs him to read. Our guy doesn't argue, but there's one small problem. He has absolutely no idea what they were reading. Just when he's about to accept his fate, Emma leans over and whispers the page number and paragraph to him, like an angel descending from the heavens. Joel blushes so hard he might as well be a human tomato. On the outside, he nods and starts reading. On the inside, he's absolutely screaming. Joel reads to the class at full volume, like he's auditioning for a dramatic role in a movie. His face is burning red, and now everyone's just wondering why he's basically yelling. The teacher, clearly amused, nods and says he could really feel the intensity in Joel's reading. The clock ticks away, marking the slow passage of time. Joel lays his head on his desk, lost in his thoughts. He doesn't understand why he gets so nervous around Emma. It's not like he likes her just because she's nice to him, right? It's just been a while since anyone's been this kind to him. That's normal, probably. He wants to be friends with Emma, but every time he gets close, his words just disappear. It's like his brain hits a reset button. While he's still struggling with his emotions, someone walks up and places a juice box on his desk. He looks up, it's Emma. She smiles and asks if this is his favorite. Joel, still processing, blurts out that he thought she had already left. She laughs lightly and says she wanted to give him the juice box before heading out. Apparently, she's noticed he always drinks this brand during lunch. She's too sweet, it's honestly adorable. Before leaving, she casually tells him not to stay up too late, so he won't fall asleep in class again. She even compliments him on getting to school early today, and encourages him to keep it up. Then, locking eyes with him, she smiles and says, "I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow." And just like that, she's gone. Joel, cheeks burning, heart racing, can only manage a weak "yeah" in response. Joel sits frozen, his heart pounding so hard he swears it might just pop out of his chest. He wants to talk to her more, to get to know her better, but every time he tries, his brain short-circuits. His eyes drop to the juice box on his desk. Slowly, he reaches out and lays a hand on it like it's some kind of rare treasure. It's just a juice box, but somehow, it feels like so much more. A tiny realization creeps in, maybe, just maybe, he does like Emma. Oh my, could this be the start of a love story? Enjoying this story so far? Drop a comment showing your interest in a part 2 and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, adios.